All right. Since YouTube doesn't let me start my stream, I don't want to anymore, so I guess I had to sit there in silence for a little bit. So I just got back from vacation. Hey, what up, Mike? Ted's in the house. I just went and refilled a drink, came back. What's up, guys? How you doing, Ted? You ready for this? Looks like we're gonna get going here. I want to. So what do I want to do today? What do I want to do today? Mike, you never came and visited me when I was overseas, man. I was waiting for you. The whole time, all I did was wait for you. It's messed up. Hey, what up? Kumi. I'm gonna call you Kumi. It's a lot easier for my American voice to pronounce. Kumi. Actually, that's a pretty cool name. I like it. Going pretty good, man. Yeah. So I want to post my stream on in the general chat in case anyone else wants to hear gibberish. And there we go. Anywhere else it should be posted? You know what? I used to do this way back in the day. I used to post stuff on Reddit. So yeah, keep it 5x, Ted. Do not go more than 5x. It's yeah, just keep it there, even if you're gonna go there. I used to post on Reddit all the time. Kind of how I got to my very early audience, as a matter of fact. Feels good if. Yeah, see the problem with I used to play back when before they KYC'd us to death. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. It was nice actually. Sorry, I'm trying to type and think at the same and speak. All right, going live on YouTube. If anyone wants to look at some charts. If you don't want to look at charts, don't join. Because we're all about charts. Because charts are the truth. Oh my gosh. All right, now I'm posting it. Yeah, for sure. No, so I used to trade, BitMEX and all that, early Binance stuff where you could trade 20x, 50x and all that. Oh, it was it's just too much leverage. It's really just too much leverage. The Cheyennes of the world that can handle that. Hats off to them. It's not me. It's not me. It's just too much garbage in reality. Okay. So I want to get a piece of paper because I'm old school. I know that because I'm bald. And I just came back from Ireland, which was pretty darn amazing. I've got to say, I didn't ever leave Ireland. That would be okay. Not like I really do that much over here. Pretty much the only thing holding me here is my mom. That's about it. If she were to ever pass away, unfortunately, I'd probably be down to go almost wherever. But Ireland's cold, but not that cold. I'd have to invest in some pretty good warm gear. All right, where's my pen? Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Seriously. Oh, you know what? It's probably in my bag right here. So, those of you that have been with me for a while, you will remember me rummaging for things randomly. That's what I think about when I do shit like this on a live stream. I should move to Ireland. That's right. I'd be the toast of the town where I was. A little town called Mulranny. I'm a super handy guy. I can basically build anything that does not involve masonry, and I can fix a lot of stuff. And fixed a bunch of stuff for my mother-in-law, and she just had a new property over there done. So All right. I want to go over, I want to write this down. I want to go over BTC. I think BTC is an interesting area, and I'll be honest with you, I did do some charting while on my vacation, but I didn't like go super deep into it. I was working on a laptop, and it sucks working on a laptop. Um, but I want to go over some BTC charts. Riot blockchain, which is a stock market derivative of Bitcoin, essentially, although it's not an exact derivative of BTC in any way. It's just a stock. It trades like one. But I want to go over the BTC charts because I think maybe we're more bullish than I've been thinking. And that's based on the Riot charts. And I want to go over a Riot chart, and I want to go over a Riot trade. Ooh, excuse me. Now I want to go over a Riot trade. Now, the Riot trades of old, I think, are gone, but we could still probably get a good 10x out of one of them. So we're going to go over a few things. I think I'm generally going to focus on that. Looks like the NASDAQ coming back pretty good. NASDAQ got off to kind of an interesting start, but it looks like it's solid. Tesla had a nice gap up on some deliveries so far, holding the gap. So that's very nice too. Just like Ireland, I don't know, man. See, I don't have my Ireland pictures up to show you guys, but actually I could. Wait, there's a cable right on my desk. I did want to do some. I'll show you some pictures. You know, since none of you guys have anything else to do, or obviously you're here with me. You feel nothing? I want to get some of my Ireland pictures up here. Just a couple. I'm not going to go crazy with it. Iran is better performer this time than Riot. What's Iran? What do you got there, Taj? I'll take a look at it. Okay, so I need to get some pictures on here. But yeah, I do think we're a little bit more bullish than I think we've been. I've had this thought loosely for a while, but really with the uptrend of the past week, and it looks like we're actually trying to break out a little bit. Maybe we're gonna, yeah. So we're above my 31041. The question is, will we be stable? And these pocket pivots right here, see, this is an index chart. Let's see where this volume stepped in from. Yeah, see, it's unknown. So I don't know. Maybe someone's trying to manipulate the index chart. But these two massive volume candles. So this right here, you can see the exchange. This is the index. This is put together by TradingView. Then you have Binance, which a little bit right there, but you know, those two early candles, not so much. And then Coinbase, it's not there. And then you got Bitfinex, it's not there. Also Bitstamp, and it's not there. So anyway, so I don't know what that's about exactly. But I think we're doing pretty good. So I want to get to, sorry, I'm a little all over the place right now. Just got back with local disk. What the fuck is this? I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh, whatever. Guess you don't get Ireland photos. Too bad for you. Beautiful photos. I'll get them up sometime. All right, so let's take a look at some stuff. I guess you guys lucked out. I don't get to brag today. It's not really bragging. Showing off, I guess. Gotta show off your vacation pictures. Okay, let's do this. Let's go full screen BTCs. I figure out how to use this shit. We're gonna get rid of secondary indicators. I do want to show you one thing though. RSI is pegged, which not a bad thing necessarily. You know, we can always go up when the RSI is pegged. You know, example right there. Volume aggregation tool looks really good. Really good right here. So that's nice. You can see, so for those of you that don't know what this is an indicator that counts volume on the green days and volume on the red days. Although it's not quite red and green, it's a little more nuanced than that. But here you go. So bullish and green are what are called pocket pivots, which are exceptional volume days. And there we have 4 pocket pivots since the breakout from our 27,349 level. Also, our distribution day count is 2 out of 4 days. The market went into an uptrend actually according to this system on March 17th, which apparently was a lifetime ago. And we've had several distribution days, but they've all expired. Now, distribution day is a day of abnormal selling pressure, and 4 distribution days put you into a correction. So we've actually been in an uptrend solidly since mid-March, and the market just has failed to die. It's tried, not for lack of trying, but it's definitely died. And it is doing okay at the moment. So 2 more days until we only have 1 distribution day. But look at how weak these distribution days are. They're really not that not that much excessive selling pressure, but these are the days that actually pushed it lower. So, I don't think you can be too mad at that. But then you have these other green arrow days. These are additional accumulation days, two of them back to back in much larger volume. So I'm overall liking stuff here. So let's zoom out and get rid of that indicator. And we'll keep the moving averages, but let's ditch lines. Let's go naked chart. And interesting. So we've actually discussed for quite a long time analogies between certain markets. Of course, it's going to pop back up when I do that. Should have known. We can go to a different chart. Doesn't matter as long as it doesn't have lines on it. And we can get rid of these ones. Bitstamp. Yeah. Oh, actually, this kind of tells the story. This is from a while ago. Not quite the same thing, but anyway, analogous between these two time periods is really what we're looking at here. Here's a 2017 top, and then you've got all of this garbage. You have the COVID shakeout, and one thing we've hypothesized going back since the COVID shakeout is what would this area look like if we never had COVID? And I think that's an interesting thought experiment. It's not one we're never really going to be able to get the answer to, but we do have a bit of an analogy to this time frame with us currently. It's not exact by a long shot. We never had the full drop like we did in 2017. We did have an okay rally, and this had a prolonged bear market, which is fine. COVID drop, Fed saved us, and then we went back to it with two consolidations. This time around, we did get a couple of drops in here, right? Hey, what up, Don? Did you mean to say sweaty? Is that how you spell? I guess that is how you spell sweetie. Interesting. So we did get the drops down here. Failure to go lower here, even on the volume, kind of an interesting. We never really got a major capitulation, which is fine. We don't have to. And then I think I have this analogous to this right here, which we never did. We never fully, not sure what time frame that's of. Got a double bottom base here and some type of a cup with a weird shakeout handle. I'm not sure if that's Bitcoin or not. Could be this area. I don't know. Anyway, the general point is that we may be starting to curl our way up here. Oh, look at my red line. What's that one from? We got up here about 100,000, give or take. That's obviously not a very scientific thing. And the 200 period moving average is right here being supportive. Actually, angled up is good. 50-day moving average angled up as well. And even recently, I can't hit auto anymore. I got to do it like this. Anyone else annoyed they removed the auto feature down here? Maybe there's some setting I don't know about. It's kind of annoying though. Anyway, okay. So recent action. Let's take a little bit of a zoom out. So recent action here, coming off of these lows, I think it was off of these lows. We talked about stalling up here at about the 48,000. Maybe we'll get back up there. Maybe we'll try to eclipse that. It's hard to say exactly, but what we're doing now is pretty darn constructive, to be honest with you. You have higher highs, higher lows, and right now we are fledgling breaking out, but we haven't done it yet. I've got this declining trend line. So that's actually your most recent high right there, which overtakes this high as well. And you can see the resistance here. And one thing I mentioned today in the show is that I think this actually could be a cup and handle. It's a bit of a high handle, which is not ideal, but we're able to hold really strong up here. Nice strong move off of the lows, and this could be a cup and handle. So that's interesting. This is really nothing. This isn't anything. This is garbage. But this could be constructive actually. And really, the market has not been able to fall apart, fall away, which is it tried to do it for a while, but it's been unable to do it. So, if we're going to go into an uptrend, like a bigger uptrend, how do we play that? Well, first of all, you buy Bitcoin. If you got some leverage, like Ted's doing some 5x, you can do some 5x stuff. If you want to go more than 5x, I think it's very dangerous, because what you do when you have a 5x is that gives you a 20% drop into liquidation, which is always, you don't want to get liquidated. Even if you go a 10x, it's only a 10% drop, and Bitcoin can drop 10%. Let's not let's not kid ourselves here. Native gamer. Who says we're not doing higher highs? They're not looking at a chart. Higher highs and higher lows. This right here. You don't even have to think. That's a beautiful thing about charts. A little bit of a chart rant here. The information's right in front of you. I don't have to be smart. All I have to be able to do is read the number on the screen, and then you do have to kind of infer with some price action, especially as you get a little more advanced and try to make some bigger decisions and call shots. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much right in front of you. This is the part of the cycle when we get the big ass move before a long consolidation. C chart I sent weeks ago. Was it? Where'd you send it at? In the private room, or was it? Was it a DM? I don't know, about weeks ago. I'm looking. I'm gonna look. I may have just found it. I found one. This one. Little ascending base, the little blow off right there, and then that's 2017. Definitely not. Oh, it's a weekly. That's got to be a weekly. Yeah, it's this one. Oh, purple cycles. Yeah, so that was one possibility. I wasn't enjoying that possibility, but it's definitely possible. Yeah, I see where you're going with here. That kind of goes in line with what I was talking about a little bit ago, but I was going to focus on more that we're here instead of over here. Because one thing if you look at Riot, I'll go to Riot real quick. And it shows better on Riot than it does on Bitcoin actually, because it's so exaggerated in this garbage of a stock. Is that if you look at these cycles, and it's just easier because these moves are so parabolic. If you look at these, we're so close to the low, it's almost like we're here or here rather than here, which should be over here. Does that make sense? Like this is further removed from the big move than this is. So always a possibility. Always a possibility. Do we need more time? I don't know, because I don't know. This whole market has been shaken out. Everything's been shaken out, and I don't know if it needs that much time. I was actually reading my book. So again, I went on vacation, and I got to go on a really long flight, so I got to do a lot of excellent reading. And actually, I think I just finished reading this. So this is my book, Trade Like an O'Neill Disciple. You should buy this book and read it. It's great. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So, is this the right one? This is such a good book, man. This is such a good book. This is such a dense book with information. Like almost every paragraph has a gem in it. Let me speed read this real quick. Talked about a follow through day. Let me look for a follow through day on one of these charts. Anyway, the whole point was that he was discussing about how the market had already been shaken out, and it was a quick shakeout, and everybody was saying that it had a shakeout for longer. No, the other one, Mike. No trade. Well, yeah, it's see, both books have the 18,000% thing. This is the first one, though. The second one, I'm not a huge fan of. You don't have to buy the second one. The second one's pretty much all about pocket pivots and gap ups. That's pretty much all it's about. I'm not even sure it has undercut and rallies in there. But this first book, holy shit. Let me just read you this real quick. This is the chapters. And yeah, seriously, just I need to put this on my, not like whenever it goes to my website to buy a book. The Evolution of Excellence, the O'Neill Trading Method. This is almost 20 pages where he talks about all of the old hats, um, and just how they brought us to where we are, and it's just a good read, man. I just read it and not quite got chills, but I was just like inspired. I'm like, oh man, these guys are just really good. Anyway, so they talk about how Chris Catcher made 18,000%, how Gil Morales made 11,000%, failing forward, tricks of the trade, which is beautiful. Riding the bear wave, I didn't really read that one. I'm not there yet. Dr. K's market direction model, which is basically our follow through day system. Bill of Commandments, I haven't even gotten to that yet. In the Trenches with Bill O'Neill. This is what I've been reading. It's from page 272 to 331. So it's like 60 pages of trading with William O'Neill, which, I mean, every time I've heard anyone talk about trading with William O'Neill, there's lots of guys that have done it. He gave a lot of guys opportunities. Um, I always take something from it. I took so much from this book because there's a lot that I know, but I just heard so much more and a bunch of details, and there's some stuff about ascending bases, but that not what they teach now, a different type of an ascending base, which is apparently not what I consider a failed ascending base, but apparently it's a thing. I didn't know about that one. There's all these like side things to this shit. Just so much in this book though. Bottom fishing, pocket pivots. Yeah, talk about pocket pivots here for the first time. But the second one's all pocket pivots and gaps. It's a little bit too, I don't want to say nuanced, but a little bit too much. Um anyway, so what William O'Neill was talking about is that there was a very quick bear market, and William O'Neill basically switched real quick. He said the market got shaken down 20%. That's enough. That's enough to get all the people out of the market. And so we may be in a similar type of a situation where even though we're used to these really long, so here's the 2017, right? Like just really long, prolonged. Keep in mind, what Bitcoin was doing over here too, right? This was the big run up. Here, look at how much more bullishness we get, but Bitcoin isn't doing as much. So I think the people that wanted to sell could sell. A link to the book? Yeah. It's just I it's just such a good book. Like if you're into charts, this book is fucking chart porn. Absolutely. Um yeah, let's go to Amazon real quick. I don't think I have this on my website. I'm gonna look real quick, not because you have to buy it through my link, because I'll make a whopping like 7 cents. I don't really care. I'm just curious if I have it, because it should be up here. I think I've looked at this and I don't. These are the original books. These are the different ones. I gotta put this one on here. This one you have to know what you're talking about though. This is not the it's not the book for beginners. that's that's true. Trade. I'm pretty sure this is it. So my dog chewed the cover up, so I don't have the cover. I have a white hardcover book. Yeah, this is it. Here, I'll put it right here. So yeah, this is not a commissioned link, so feel free to buy it. You won't give me the 20 cents. It's just a stupid excellent book. 4.4 is way too low. Why would someone give this 1 star? Stay away. Sounded okay with my stories about but my stories about their service, which is why they were selling this book to get you to hook up. Trade based on a VIX? They don't trade based off the VIX. And he says to go with the O'Neill books. I can't fault you if you just want to stick with the O'Neill books. There's no fluff in here. There's no fluff. Not terrible and overpriced. Anyway. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, O'Neill was talking about O'Neill was discussing that everyone thinks it should go lower and it didn't and stuff like that. He thinks it was a sufficient shakeout. In other words, during that time frame, we may have had a sufficient shakeout here. Let's go back to BTC real quick. I know I'm not really staying on topic here, but yeah, it's not a cheap book. So those O'Neill books, though, but see, that's the cool thing about William O'Neill. Um, Freaking the dude is amazing. Anyway, his books are super cheap. They're like $12, and those are really good books too. But they don't go in the depth that this book does. Okay, so we're looking at Bitcoin, and so what Mike's saying is that this run's analogous to this run. I can't say he's 100% wrong. I don't think anybody could say that. If we found a low, we found a low. We're gonna come up, have a consolidation. Um, that's always possible. We could also try. I mean, you could argue if we have a rally sooner rather than later, maybe it'll be shorter. It'll be smaller. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Typically, when you come back really fast, that's what happens. But I don't know, what was our percentage drop? We never got to 85. 77. That's pretty big. This one obviously got down to 85, 84, 85, whatever it is. So we never did get down quite as far. We didn't really, we kind of flirted down here quite substantially, but we never really fully went down. Here we did have a nice breakout. Not quite the same over here. How long was this rally? So we discussed here. So this low in the trough was about, what was it, 784 days. And if this one were to be 700 days, which is actually not going to be, we would have to go like this. We'll consider that the beginning point, kind of like we did here a little bit. I don't remember exactly my rationale for starting it here, just because it's kind of chop fits around in this area. I could have started it here. It's kind of, some of these things are a little bit, you kind of have to make a judgment call on them. But so if it takes about 2 years, then could be in the middle of it. This one was about in the middle of it when we did start the consolidation to finally have the larger breakout. We found that bear market before was very similar to, not to the naked eye though. What you need coding help? Actually, Don, I do need some coding help if you're up for it. It's not stock related or crypto related, although I've always got those projects in the back of my head. But no, actually, I'm just trying to make a website, but I want to use Golang, and I know that you've been doing Golang, so if you're up for it, maybe help me out for a little bit if you, if you're around. Where'd you see that? I wasn't asking anybody for help. Or did I? I don't think I did. You're on Code Mentor? Oh, the Code Mentor tab. I was gonna say, if you're on Code Mentor, that's hilarious. No, yeah, I was just looking for someone to help me. I'm developing a project. Nothing super complicated. But yeah, if you could help me out, it's some Go specific stuff. I have a lot of pseudocode already written. I built out trade triggers. If you remember, I did that all in Express and Node, but just the syntax is different in Go. So I basically know what I want to do. I just need some help. So yeah, if you're around, man, it'd be big help. Yeah, so let's let's look at this a little bit. Okay, sweet. Yeah, appreciate it. That's awesome. I don't care. Hey, Don, I don't care what Mike says about you, man. You're a nice guy. Okay. So I don't know if we're gonna go the way this did. So if you guys remember this was an interesting turn of events. The market blew through the 42 6,500 drop, blew through 42 down here, went straight through 6,500, which we didn't think it was going to do, but it did it. So you just kind of have to go with it. Then we did end up with a pretty stark sell signal up here at the peak. Called that one actually pretty darn good too. Inverted head and shoulders led to the rally, COVID, all that stuff. Now, let's see. Okay. So now a slightly different situation. I had this in log. Okay, so now it's in log. There you go. So we do have a trend line that we're following. RSI is probably a little. Oh, RSI is pretty pegged. Trend line that we're following. If we are going to continue, Bitcoin's actually risen another % since we've been talking. Actually. So if we're going to continue up in this, if we look at the volume, technically our volume is declining. So I guess the question is how much farther are we going to go? I guess that's the question. And this is kind of, hey, Monkeytron, I know you're still fucking alive. I had no idea. What up, Monkeytron? I think Mike's going to shit his pants. Yep, there he goes. Mike just shit his pants. It's like a reunion up in this bitch. So, yeah, I don't like this factor. I didn't really know. This is why I wanted to do this, because I know I'd be focused to just focus on the charts and stuff. And not a huge fan of the way this is playing out right now at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see what it does. We need a big volume day. This is really going to go on a run. So Mike may be onto something here with this, because we didn't have quite the same thing this time around. We didn't have declining volume. Volume was actually pretty consistent about where it wanted to be when it was really popping. It was right around here, and those were our topping candles. So those are a bit of a different thing. But here we do have a little bit of declining volume. So I guess the question is, where could it go? I guess that's the real question. How much further can we go, depending on the volume, which is declining? So yeah, we may or may not have too much farther to go. One interesting thing about this phase, and that we've only been in recently now, we have talked about Litecoin and how Litecoin is trying to break out from the 102 level here. And we noted the strength in Litecoin on these rallies. For these 3 rallies, Litecoin actually was outperforming a good amount of the market. And so that boded well for Litecoin. I still think it bodes well here today. This volume is not a fluke. Look at that. That is just a tremendous volume. Let's go to another exchange, Coinbase. Look at that. It's on Coinbase too. They just ate up Litecoin. This could be those BlackRock people trying to get in. We saw it with Bitcoin Cash. So there is a little bit of definite institutional buying if those really big players are going to step into the cryptocurrency world. We're starting to see a little bit of that. So that could propel us higher. But, before we just, bet the farm and everything, we have to make sure that the price action matches with any kind of thesis you have. So if you've got this thesis, this is a good chance to talk about this. In the past year, everyone's been worried about a recession. Everyone's been worried about the inflation. Everyone's been worried about this, that, and the other thing. I had a lot of people call me and tell me, hey, my friend wants to liquidate most of their holdings. Or my friend did liquidate. This one guy said his friend did liquidate most of his holdings. I'm like, oh, he's going to fucking regret that. He's like, I know, but I've been trying to talk to him. And, you can have opinions about how things may be, but the market must confirm your opinions. And in this situation, nothing's been confirmed in this market scenario. Everything's been pretty darn stable. And you can go back to the NASDAQ. I think the NASDAQ is a great example of this, and we've talked about this for a long time now. Even going back to last year, this is a year ago now. And look at the NASDAQ, it just failed to go lower. It held this support here. We undercut a little bit, but it never really dropped down too dramatically. And before we made this move up here, we're like, I know we're low, guys, but I don't think we're going much lower, because look, it already had several attempts to go lower. It hasn't been able to do it. And, when you're able to take a step back and just look at what's happening rather than, what you think is happening or what you feel is going on, or if you have certain political affiliations, that you side with, you can't let that get in the way of what the market's telling you. And the market told you over here towards actually since the beginning, like January 1 wasn't quite the bottom, but we started rocking at the first trading day of the year, almost here. And yeah, we've been pretty much in an uptrend ever since. So you kind of have to let the market tell you what to do. And we've been pretty bullish, and I'm not going to give up on that bullish tendency. Although, lightning volume here on these index charts, that is a little bit disconcerting. I'm not a big fan of that, but we do have our trend line holding us up here. So I guess the question is how much further we're going to go. Now let's take a look at Riot, which is kind of what we came to talk about was the bigger Bitcoin chart and Riot. We'll probably come back to Bitcoin a little bit as well. Got Riot down here, I think. There we go. 14.64% today. This thing is on a little bit of a tear. Beautiful chart. It's got a pretty nice chart on it. So here we go. We've got a low. We have this decline. We have this measured move up to here, which we haven't really fully fledged out yet. We went up about 3/4 of that, which I guess in my book is a win, but didn't really trade it. And now we have another consolidation here, another double bottom actually, and this is a breakout day of this double bottom today. But let's look at the volume aggregation tool. Again, this aggregates volume into buying and selling pressures, and it's pretty good. It's not spectacular here recently, but you've got a lot of green here, all on the way up, a little bit of red here, and if you look at the VA tool now on this breakout day, boom, the green has kind of overtaken the red. It's very minor, but I can't get it to. It's not dragging up for me anyway, but it's above it. You see the little bit of green right there on the histogram. So we're not in a bad place. So I kind of took this last leg up here and extrapolated. That's what this line is. I just did one of these, kind of a measured move, if you will, but I did it from the breakout point, not from the bottom. So I guess I should put that up. That gives us about 17.25. Maybe on this pop, if we're going to do that. Past that, if we're going to go up more and more, Riot does have a history up here in the $40 range. So that's about 22 to 40, 80, 22 to 80. So yeah, so this is what I was looking at right here, these kind of tops right there, which is $40 basically, 39.26. So that's kind of what I've been targeting. There's another potential little breakdown point, maybe right around there at the 26, but you can see the big percentage differences. Still got my Riot. No, I ain't got no Riot. I'm thinking about getting into Riot. Actually, I did take this little trade right there. It's just a little guy, but if it works, it'll be a nice little profit center if it does continue to go up. I mean, one thing is the volume candles on these are just really tremendous, well above average volume. All these green candles, 3 pocket pivots right here. I'm really liking this, and we noticed Riot had been setting up. I think I mentioned it in one of my newsletters since I've been on vacation. I don't know. I don't remember anything I wrote in those newsletters. Don't ever do a newsletter on a laptop. That is a horrible experience. But anyway, yeah, I mean, look at this volume in Riot. It's generally been trending up, and now we've been consolidating, and we have quite a bit of time left. And look, we're already almost equal with yesterday's volume. And we're pretty close to the close. I didn't realize how late it was. But nonetheless, a good volume day, trying to move up, breaking these highs. So this is a double bottom base, which it looks like it is. I'm not sure if it meets the 7-week requirement. It definitely does. Definitely meets a 7-week requirement for a double bottom base. Probably also meets the depth requirement. Ooh, a little deep, 34%. 33 is the max, but this is a very volatile asset, so you'll give it the 34. I don't think that's a huge problem. And then rallying back. So I think this definitely has some legs to go on the back of what Bitcoin is doing right now. So trying to break out of this little flag, if we're able to extend up into the 34, 35,000 level, we talked about, even if in Mike's scenario, let's do this. Let's go back here. And let's do Mike's scenario. It's not a bad scenario. We'll go from this early breakout to the peak, which this is not going to age well, but we're obviously not going into a mini parabola. And we've already kind of extended past that, it looks like. So that was the whole move from 42 all the way up to, was it 14,000? I don't even remember anymore. It's been a while. Huge move up there. We've definitely taken a lot more time. And now the fact that we have a large cup and handle here, this is actually very constructive. This is really constructive. So if we're able to put together a real big boy breakout here, I think we could sustain a rally for the next couple of months. Maybe we get to that 48,000 level, which kind of would be akin to that. And extending up here, we probably will be able to use our Pi method trend lines and try to find a really good exit. And Pi method, we've already figured out, would have worked really well on this run too. Although we had alternative exit methods which superseded any kind of Pi method exit on that particular rally. But Squint, it's not that dissimilar. Squint and I've got hair, Mike. Actually, I have a lot of hair right now because my head shaver was in my bag that they lost at the airport. So I had to buy a shaver, which won't get here for like a week, which I'm kind of annoyed about. Yeah, bases in similar places. Yeah, it's not bad, but anyway, the whole general point here is that, well, number one, it was kind of the time part of it, but really more than that, I just wanted to see how it was shaping up. But see this beautiful extension up here. Let's go back and let's check out this breakout area right there. Don't think. Oh, gotta go back further than that. So here we go. So beautiful volume declination signature into these lows. Look at this volume aggregation tool, guys. Look at this thing. There's like barely any red bars. There's none on the left side of this chart. Zero. That was a very neutral. But even that one ended up closed. Oh, this one I think closed red. Maybe that one did too. Anyway, not a lot of red bars here. I don't think we quite have that same thing going on here, but we do have some increasing volume. 2 pocket pivots right here towards the high. Yeah, it was low, a little bit lower, like down here. You're right, but if you look right here, look at these two. This must be a weekend. This must be weekend action because look at how low those volumes are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a weekend low volume. That's a weekend low volume. We couldn't get lower. Then we reversed higher Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is a interesting telling of sequence of candles here. Higher, lower, higher. Red day was lower, but still it ended up closing up towards the high of the day. Probably you can see it raised on the green on the volume aggregation tools. That's a bullish day. So all these are bullish days except for that one and that one. Did close higher, but there's more distribution on that one. But yeah, definitely kept going. But as we know here, the major topping volume, that was your exit clue on this one. So let's go see how our volume signature is playing out right now. One thing here is that this is a sideways consolidation. It's a flag. So let's look at this base. So if we're looking at this base, which we're arguably trying to break out of here, volume aggregation tool definitely tells a different story, but it's not overtly bearish. It's just kind of chilling. In reality, it's not doing anything destructive. Sure, you'd like a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, especially the VA tool. You'd like the VA tool to be a bit more green. Actually, it was positive on that day, on that high volume down there. It's kind of a doji day right there. Some distribution. That one went to the sellers. That was a big loss to the volume aggregation tool. And then we did talk about this break in the RSI trend line, which didn't really lead to much, but it. Oh, you know what? We missed this one. We used to talk about this setup. I forgot about this. So, and it wasn't so much on the RSI than it was on a chart. And actually, it's kind of on this chart too. If you take the decline, and it's not really on this chart. If you take the decline and then you break out of it and you have another decline of about almost parallel with this one, that one usually works out pretty well. But I don't think I've applied it to an RSI before, but that's exactly what that looks like, and that did work out in this particular instance. We also bounced off our trend line, and then we did go through our 27,349 with the full-blown reversal at that level. So there's where your pocket pivots start to show up, and then you can see the divergence between the buyers and the sellers. So yeah, we haven't seen it on the RSI, yeah, but we were doing it on charts, on price charts. You know what's funny? All these signals that we've gone through over the years, they don't stay consistent. Like we haven't seen that setup in a long time. We haven't seen a very long time. I can't really think of the last. I can't even think of an example. I mean, not off the top of my head. It would be an altcoin, though. It really wasn't a BTC thing. So, anyway, as of right now, we're looking pretty good. RSI is a little bit high, and we're maintaining that elevation. I wish that were to evaporate. If we were closer to the 50 level, I would say we'd be off to the races. Probably a little bit more certain than I am at the moment, but it does look like, yeah, we're definitely headed there, and I'm hoping we're going to be able to sustain this and close up in this area, and hopefully continuation. Our volume today, with 4 hours left, it's really not that great. I think that's a problem. So even if we break out right now, it's not even going to be above average, so that is definitely a problem. So it looks good, but I'm not sure if it'll be good. Oh, Matic's up 5% right now. That's not bad. So let's go back to Riot. Let's talk about the one that this other gentleman was talking about, the IREN. I haven't seen that one. Woo, look at that cup and handle. Ooh, doggy. That is a valid cup and handle. Looks like you got an undercut and rally right there on this green day. Couple little pocket pivots, not as bullish, but let's take a look at this thing. Oh, this is brand new. Start trading in November. So where the hell is this gonna go? Wow, 6 up to 17. I wonder if that has some options. So we're gonna look at some options now. Wow, that doesn't have anything. 7.5 at 95 cents. So 8.5 would be break even. Get out of here. That's a 50% move just to break even. 7.05 if you go for the $5 strike, which is still leaving a lot to be desired. Okay. But maybe it gets set to August 1st. Okay, let's write a couple of these down. I still think Riot maybe to the 40 level, just because it's kind of where. Let's go back to Riot real quick. On which one, Ted? On BTC? Yeah, but this is weekend volume, buddy, and this I don't want to include that really in like an ascending volume pattern. It just feels like I'm taking a stretch just to make it happen. I mean, technically you're correct, but I mean it's not bad. I do like the tight action. The tight action is good, leading us into what we're going through and experiencing right now, but it's just such small ball. I don't want to read much into that. I mean, it's a good sign. I like the fact that it's small ball. But like this, if you were to call these 3 candles ascending action, bam, 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 that I would give you 100%. Obviously that one kind of, and even this one's pretty good. There's 4 days right here. They get a nice little rally. And see, that's another thing too about price action is that, hey, if you're getting a lot of volume, you should have a commensurate sized candle. So in other words, you've got this big bar right here. This bar should be much bigger than this bar, and they are. If you look at these 2 candles, this one with just under average volume is about an average size candle, you would argue, right? So that's pretty normal. This next one is like 125% bigger with 125% bigger volume. This one's a little bit bigger still, and it looks like it's a little bit bigger still. So this is a really good accumulation run leading to this flag, and so that's a good thing. This is what it is. I don't know what the hell happened there. I forget. But yeah, I think we're reading too much into too little on that particular situation. But yeah, overall, we'll see what happens. It looks a little bit like this. This is not as good as this. This is much better than this. See the kind of the arcing kind of range we have over here. You don't want to have that kind of arc like that. You want it to go sideways or decline, and it looks like we're going sideways. So I like this a lot better than this particular action over here. Although the volume's a little bit nicer. Yeah, it's not too bad either way, actually. Aggregation tool is much better over here. I like saying words like that. All right, so let's take a look. So if we are going to, let's go on the assumption Bitcoin's going to break out from this, and maybe we'll have a measured move. Okay, maybe we'll just do a measured move. We'll go from the low to the high, and we'll just because it's kind of easy. That takes us to 37, almost 38,000. If we go to the left, that's going to put us kind of at a breakdown point from this level, which isn't too bad. So we got a 38,000. We can go back to Riot blockchain, and we can start lining up a couple of trades. So on Bitcoin, you know what to do. There's really not much. It's a really simple trade if you like it. Once it starts fully breaking out, which it's not quite doing, you buy it, and if you have margin or whatever, you go up. But if you're interested in an options trade in like this Riot or something like that, that's when things can get a little tricky. So we've got 1728 for Riot. That would be a measured move. And I would think that would happen fairly quickly. Look at the last time this thing ran, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 days. So if I pull up now if you guys don't know about options, just kind of ask a couple of pointed questions. And you get more water. And I'll do my best. But the crux of it is this. You need to pick a good expiration date. How long is it going to take? Let me write down IREN. How long is it going to take Riot to get back to that 17 level? Well, here we go. Well, we just said it's going to take, about 7 days because it started a run here, and we're looks like we're starting a run here too. So you can go out about 7 days. So I have a 4-day, and I have a small position on that one. And you can even go out 11 days or 18 days if you want to give it more time. And the way you time these is once you make sure you give yourself enough time for your play to work itself out. Because if you think we're going to go from 14 to 40 in 11 days or 18 days, probably not going to happen. You'd have to choose something with more days, right? So you can choose your expiration date. You think 74 days to 40 is good. Well, then these are the options that you have to choose from. But for right now, we're going to stick with the $17. And the way you figure out what it's going to be worth is that you take the $14 strike price and you say, okay, well, 17, that's $3. Okay. My 17 target minus 14 is $3. So I'm going to pay $88 for something that could be worth $3. So that's loosely a triple, right? It's going to be a little bit more than a triple, but loosely a 300% return. Now, obviously, that only has 18 days to play out. If it goes past that, this option is worth 0 if it doesn't get up to that level. So that's something that you could try to deal with. And yeah, it's kind of how that game is played. So Riot blockchain, if you're, that's one potential move that could happen is there we go. It could get up to here, the 17 level in a few days. And that could be, good for a 300% trade. Now, do you bet your whole account on that? No, because this is a high risk, high reward trade. If it gets there, you're going to make 300%. So your reward has to be equally as volatile, meaning 100% of your money is at risk on a trade like this. So how much do you allocate to a position of this riskiness? Well, it's up to you. I mean, I probably wouldn't advocate, more than a 3% account position, maybe a 5 if you're really, really bullish, if you see some other things too. But I wouldn't go a lot because this could reverse tomorrow and erase 70% of the value in that trade overnight, quite literally overnight. The market could close in 7 minutes, which I think is what it's going to do. I think it closes in 7 minutes and excuse me, and erase that amount. So I did take a small position, but if it gets erased on me, I'm not going to be hurting. All right, so that's an example. So let's take that 17. So this is $1, $2, $3, $4. Yeah, so somewhere in here. Not too bad of a trade. 88 that 88 cents is in fact $88. So that's not too bad. So that's a potential trade. Let me put this up here so I remind myself where you guys can see. Sorry. Um and if it goes past 17, obviously it's all gravy on top of that. And now I think we're going to go past that. I think we're going to come up here and play with all these 40s. So there's that $40 level, right? So how long do you think we get to 40? In other words, how much do you think till Bitcoin gets to the 48,000? Well, if we're thinking about time frame, you could think September. Big jump here between September and December. You don't really have a tremendous amount of difference in there. If you're, I'll usually take this type of a strategy. That's not Bitcoin. There we go. I already have that line up there. If you think it's going to take this long, then I'll probably get there a little bit sooner. So that's October where the end of this is. So if we're going to get up there quickly, we could do October, November. So that puts us back out into December because you can't do September. So now this one won't be too bad. But you are paying a little bit of portfolio insurance with the amount of time that you're anticipating doing this with. So $20 would be $181. That'd be a $20. If it's $40, this would be worth $20. So you paid just under $2 for it. So you're looking at over a 10x, almost 11x trade on that one. Not too bad. Pretty good if it gets up there. Now that's the key. It has to get up there. And the one other thing with options, it's at $13.35 right now. So you're buying a $20 call. In order for this thing to break even on you, it has to get to $21.81 because this is your ask. Yeah, market closes in 3.5. Why does it look like it's already closed? Look, nothing's moving on my ticker here. That's weird. No bids, no asks. I'm still streaming. My clock off or something? That's a trip. 12:56. I do not know. Anyway, hope you guys can still see me. It looks like you can. So that's the question. That's the question right there. Is do you think we're going to get up there, or do you think that that we're done, or getting close to done? It's one or the other. Okay, now let's take a look at that. So Riot, let me write that one down. December. And actually, I did like this 181. I thought that wasn't too bad. So that's $20. Now I have a spreadsheet that'll give me exactly, but I'm not going to fill that in right now. Is this thing on? If it's working, somebody post a comment. I have to think my internet's down. It's just not telling me. It is? Oh, okay. This is just so weird. Like 2 minutes, this whole thing is just not showing me anything. Market should be open. That's really weird. Okay, so let's take a look at that I ran one. Oh, I was gonna look at this one. December. I do like that 20 for $1.81. If you want to go down to $15, that gives you $18.05. That's better than 22 if you're looking at a break even. But that's going to be 15. That's a 500%. Actually, no, it's going to be 25. So you can see you're getting down towards 800% away from that, from the 10, 11x. So that's your most, but it's more risky because if it never even gets close to that 20, this thing is going to evaporate really, really quick. And it's hard to buy today when it's up 13%. So, but sometimes you're kind of left with that. I really don't know what's going on with this. I'm going to shut it down. And that's just freaking me out. I gotta log back in. And I think after this, I'm taking my kids to my mom's house to say hi. We'll see how that goes. So, all right, we'll take a look at that IREN next. But I do like that December 20. I think that one's pretty good. Oh, it said something about data. Yeah, it's still freaking out. Still has nothing on it. Oh no, that's weird. All right, let's take a look at that IREN. So this one's interesting. It's just getting some volume, like we talked about. Breakout of the cup and handle is up 21% today. I'm not sure what's up with the real-time data crap. Must have a data problem. Ooh, did Tesla close at the high of the day? Not quite. Pretty good though. This IREN is interesting. I wonder if these quotes are accurate too. Probably not. All right, so that's at 566. What could IREN get to? I mean, you got a breakdown point at 13. We can take a look at these. So IREN looks like a breakdown point at 13, which really isn't too far. We're at 566. That's not too bad. And you don't have a lot of options here. Not so 7.5, you're looking at basically 805. But look at the spread here, 55 to 20 cents. If you go out here, you're a little bit tighter at 95 to 70 cents, but that's still almost a 30% spread. So 850 just to break even. So it's right about there. So the breakout definitely has to work if this is going to do anything. This is a lot less liquid, which can be a problem. You see how big and wide the handle is? It was able to drop substantially. While technically it's still a valid handle, can't say it's my favorite. So down 44%. That is not a 57% cup. So definitely more volatile. That's for damn sure. Excuse me. All right, Apple with a 3 trillion market cap, pulling in a little bit today, like we talked about at the start of during the show today, the Power Hour. Man, look at the volume today. I'm not getting good data feed right now on this thing. So, all right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna bounce. Market is doing whatever the hell it's doing. I don't know. I'm a bit after going through all that with the volume in Bitcoin and everything it's doing. I'm a bit more on the fence about if it's really going to continue up dramatically or not. I don't like the volume declination. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think, well, I do like this high tide consolidation. It needs to break out. That's what needs to happen. It needs to break out to show that it's going to do that. If it does that, this is definitely a cup and handle base. I mean, still is a cup and handle base, but if it doesn't break out, then it's not going to rally. And unfortunately, there's really not much to say other than that. It's got to wait and see what it does in reality. But so far, a pretty good flag has been forming, and I want to try to stay with it if I can. Be as bullish as I can at all times, and be an optimist. That no pessimist ever made it rich, really. So that's what we're going to try to do here. All right. Well, I think that's about it, guys. Sorry, not the best broadcast I've ever done, but I think we did some good homework. I do like the uptrend. Hopefully we can keep this going for a while longer. And to Mike's point, if we start going sideways for a while, we will be on a lookout for that bigger breakout. And I do think generally most of the alts are setting up for just exactly that. So if you look at like a BNB, right? If you look at a BNB here, as long as we don't break down under these lows, this will all be constructive, and it'll eventually move up as well. And I think that'll be good. All right. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Monkeytron, you out of here, bud? Well, good seeing you. Hopefully I was half-ass entertaining for you. Yeah, if you want to do that Ninja Trader thing, I got approval for that. I just got to make some adjustments to my website, and then we'll be doing some Ninja Trader stuff. So I don't know how up you are for that, but I had a couple cool ideas depending on what their platform is capable of. That should be pretty fun. Don, I'll be reaching out to you later, bud, for some website help. Thank you very much for offering there. All right, guys. Well, have a great day. Let's hope this rally holds. We're able to stay stable and then eventually break through this. Volume's got to be good. Breakout volume should be ideally 1.5% of average, at least 1.4, and that's what we're looking for. But we're not getting it quite yet. Could step in a little bit later, and then maybe could exacerbate throughout the rest of the day. So we shall see. All right, guys. Have a great day. I will see y'all later. Bye.